Well, welcome back to this installment of Scotty giving unsolicited advice and Poppy over in the corner going to town on a bone. Don't know if you can hear her, but she is having the time of her life. We also have Yzma joining us today. She is over in the basket taking a nap. Just a moment ago, she was making biscuits. So this is going to be a good time. I did not script this video. I just wrote down a list. Let's do this thing. I'm probably going to regret having all my animals in this room with me while I'm filming because they assume that my office door is a revolving door, and that's not yours, Poppy. And they also go for my plushies. I'm going to put you up here where you're safe. You have a bone. Go chew on it. Don't look at me with those eyes. So yes, today we are going to be talking about thrifting online, or really it's buying secondhand online, because in all honesty, you can't really beat thrift prices when buying online. There are definitely extra expenses that go into buying things online, but purchasing things online definitely has its purpose, it has its uses, and that is one of the things we're going to be talking about today. Why we buy things secondhand online in the first place when it is a lot cheaper to buy things in person at thrift stores. And I'm also going to be going through the different apps that I like to use to source the clothes that I buy and give you guys tips on how to search through the different parameters, the different filters, so that you can more easily find the things that you are looking for. So the first question, why the heck would I spend extra money on something online when I can just go down to my local Goodwill and buy something a lot cheaper? Well, as we know, Goodwill has been raising their prices, but it is still probably cheaper to buy things there, or better yet, at charity shops, Cancer Society, SPCA, whatever your local charities are. However, not everyone has access to thrift stores like that. It depends on the size of your town and if those things are in your area, and if you're willing to trek further out past your zip code to find stores. And some people have them within their vicinity. Maybe they don't have transportation. Maybe they work crazy hours and they're unable to get the time off in order to go to those thrift stores. Some people will work double shifts, night shifts, etc. So there are different reasons why people would choose to purchase things online. Also, sometimes you're looking for something specific and you don't want to roll the dice, because whatever you find at thrift stores is solely dependent on what people actually donate. So all of those reasons are very understandable why someone would rather look online rather than trying to dig through all of the... So all of those reasons are pretty reasonable why someone would rather buy things online, look through curated closets on Poshmark rather than trying to dig through dirty thrift stores. That's the other thing. Some people just don't want to dig through dirty clothes that you don't know where they've been. Thrift stores don't tend to clean clothes before they put them out on the shelves or the hangers, whereas people who sell them online usually clean them, at least they better, before they send them out. So yeah, now that we've covered the why, let's talk about where. So I've got my handy dandy little list in my notes app of all the websites and apps that I like to use, and I'm going to share those with you. Now keep in mind, I've only listed ones that I have direct experience with. There are quite a few that I have not used. Obviously, I can only share you guys tips, tricks, and opinions on things that I've actually used. So there are a few apps and websites that are notably used by a lot of people that I will not be able to comment on just because I haven't used them. However, that will give you guys an opportunity to share your own tips in the comments below if there is an app or a website that I do not cover. First, the app that I have the least amount of experience with, but I have used 1 or 2 times, is Poshmark. And Poshmark is probably the most common and most popular app that people use for secondhand shopping, especially when it comes to buying directly from individuals and sellers. Poshmark is very much brand focused when it comes to selling and buying. So if there's a specific brand that you are looking for, I definitely recommend using Poshmark. I feel like people list things for pretty reasonable prices. They can be a bit pricier because there's a lot of resellers on the app, so there's a lot of competition. But if you are looking things that are more gently used or things that are new with tags, this is a really great resource. And just like many other reselling apps, they do have a make an offer option as well as a bundling option. So if you're wanting to save some money, you can work with the individual sellers and send them an offer or try to arrange a bundle deal. Since I have the least amount of experience with this app, I'm not going to say too much more. And a lot of people already use this, so I don't think I have really much to add to the conversation when it comes to Poshmark. I've never sold anything on Poshmark either, so I'm not really sure how good of an app it is when it comes to selling. I know a lot of people have talked about it being oversaturated because there's so many people that sell on that app, and I don't really know what the fees are like, so I can't really say if it's worth selling on there either. But I have used that app quite a few times to find specific pieces when it comes to vintage, when I know the brand, or high-end, gently used items that I specifically was looking for. For example, I did buy a Kiel James Patrick sweater on there, and I did get a decent deal. There are certain items that hold their resale value, like small boutique brands, so it's hard to find Kiel James Patrick lower than $128 a pop, which is what they sell for new. But I did manage to find, I think it was the pumpkin sweater for less than $100, and it was pretty much new with tags. So it's definitely a good app to add to your arsenal, but I wouldn't rely upon it because there's so many other places where you can find things. So generally speaking, I would say brand new and gently used items are great things to find on Poshmark. Second is probably where I've had like my medium experience with, and that is Mercari. Now, Mercari is more than just clothes. You can also buy home items, collectibles, etc. It's kind of like an alternative to eBay. However, they are in the US only, I believe. At least that's what I've been told. I know when I was listing things on Mercari, people were kind of sad that they couldn't buy it and they're from another country, so I'm pretty sure it's just US. I like Mercari because I feel like people don't list things for too high of prices. I feel like things are a little bit lower priced than on Poshmark. I have seen some resellers come into the space of Mercari and ask for a little bit too much, but for the most part, I feel like things are pretty fairly priced, and if you feel like you could get a lower price, people are a lot more open to receiving offers, and it has the counter offer option as well, so you can actually haggle, which I'm not sure if Poshmark has. I've never used the send offer function, so I'm not too sure. And I've both bought and sold on Mercari as well. Again, it's unfortunate that this app is not available in other countries. So if you're in the US, I highly recommend this app. And they also have a referral system. So if you refer people, you get like store credit, which is really nice. Another thing that they do, if you heart an item, chances are the seller will send you a discount offer, which I really like. So I like to look through, find items that I like, and then heart them. And if I really, really want it, maybe see if they'll send me a deal. If I don't receive a deal, sometimes I'll send one, like send an offer. So the next app, I have a lot of experience with both buying and selling, but I'm not using it as much. If I were to rank all of these apps and websites on a tier list, I would probably rank this one not too low, but not too high either. And it's not because the app isn't good. They've made a lot of improvements and added a lot of features in recent years. My qualm with it is more the audience or the buyers and sellers on the app. And I'm guessing you already know what I'm talking about, and that is Depop. Depop has the reputation of attracting a lot of younger buyers and sellers, which is not necessarily bad, but because of that, the items are very trendy. And even if something isn't really worth the money quality-wise, people tend to jack up the prices just because it's on trend. And I'm not all about that. You guys know I'm all about my deals. I'm not gonna buy something and spend a premium just because it's whimsigoth. I'm gonna buy it because it's good quality. I'm gonna spend the money because I know it's gonna last in my wardrobe. I could not care any less about the trends and all of that. So if something is particularly trendy, you will see an upcharge when it comes to how much people charge. I feel like a lot of things are overpriced on Depop. Not to say you can't find a good deal. I have found good deals on Depop. It's just a lot harder to find. And then also people tend to like spam the descriptions with keywords. So you'll be looking for something specific and irrelevant things come up, and it's really annoying. They have added an offer feature, which is really nice. So both sellers can send offers to likers, and then you can also send offers to sellers, which is really nice. I feel like they kind of copied other apps in that sense, but I'm not mad about it because it is a nice option. My one criticism about it, and they might have fixed this, I'm not sure, I haven't used Depop in forever, is that after an offer is accepted on either side, you have to then accept the accept or confirm the accept. So in the past, when I've been selling things, people have sent me offers and I've accepted them, but then they didn't go in and confirm the accept and they allowed it to expire, and then the sale didn't go through, which is really annoying. And that's not the case with Mercari. As soon as you accept an offer, the purchase is done. Again, they might have changed this already, but that's why I haven't really been selling on Depop, because I found that really annoying. But because things are a little bit more trend oriented, if you are looking for a specific style, it is a bit easier to find. Also, they added kind of an explore page that curates specific items that they think you'd be interested in based on your likes and your things you've been looking at. So that's kind of nice. So again, I wouldn't say not to use it. It just has its purpose, its specific role to fill when it comes to looking for specific pieces. Like when I was looking for the mushroom Talbot sweater, that is one of the many apps that I was using to look for things. So anyways, for Depop, you can search cottagecore, whimsigoth, and chances are the relevant items should come up. You will get some spam, some things, because people will again spam the descriptions, but it's gotten better in terms of their algorithm. I'll say that. I just don't want to pay those prices. All the youths jacking up the prices. I feel like I'm too old for Depop now. I'm not as hip. I used to be Depop's like target audience. In very short order, I grew out of it. So the next resource isn't necessarily a peer-to-peer selling app. It is technically a consignment store. People call it a thrift store, and it's not a thrift store, and that is ThredUp. Now, they've changed a lot when it comes to selling too. So if you want to sell your clothes, a lot has changed. And in my opinion, it's not worth it. If you want like an up-to-date full review on selling to ThredUp, I will link a video in the description that I just watched today. And that was by Stephanie. She recently, within the last 6 months, because it took that long, sold some stuff to ThredUp, and just go watch the video. But when it comes to buying on ThredUp, I definitely say, again, it's kind of a mixed bag. It definitely has its purpose, but I wouldn't use it solely for buying things secondhand online. Again, if you're looking for something specific, like brand, it's wonderful for that. It's great for finding things new with tags. You'll find pretty good deals, especially when they have their sales. That's another caveat that I would add. When they have their sales or they have their promo codes, you can get really good deals. But definitely be very, very picky about the things that you do buy, because if you want to return, there are restocking fees, which I don't tend to like. And a lot of times I'll just sell the thing on Depop or Mercari instead of returning it, because I feel like I could try to at least get my money back, all of it. But yeah, when it comes to finding specific pieces, I feel like ThredUp is great. And when they have their sales and all of that. Now, finding things on ThredUp are a little bit tricky. So I'm gonna give you guys some tips on how to find things, because unless you know the actual specific brand, it's hard to find things, okay? And side note, they are apparently beta testing searching by vibe, which right now you can't search by a vibe. So if you put cottagecore, unless cottagecore is in the brand name, nothing is gonna come up. Same with like whimsigoth, gothic, all of that, unless it's in the brand name, won't come up. But Sarah, Miss Ginger Jones, recently saw an update in her app, not mine, mine didn't have this update, where they are beta testing searching by buzzwords or keywords. You can theoretically in the future put in the style that you're looking for and it will come up. Right now, for most people, that is not the case. So you kind of have to finesse the filters to find things. So some of my favorite filters to use when it comes to tops and dresses, I really love the square neckline and the sweetheart neckline. So I will go through and filter by neckline. I also like to filter by length because I don't typically like things too short. So you can actually filter by midi, under style, or knee length or calf length for the length. And you can do the same with skirt. I also like to search by color, so you can put in the color of the item as well as the print. Now, if you're looking for something with a puffy sleeve, one of the things that you can put in under accents is ruching. Now, you will get some ugly items that have like the weird ruching like on the side that our moms wore in 2008, but sometimes ruching is referring to the shoulders, and so you'll get like the puff shoulders, which is great. They also have lace up as one of the accents, so that's how I found quite a few of my lace up hoodies and my lace up sweatshirts, and just tops with the lace up detailing if you're looking for more like Ren Fair core, medieval core items, which I always am. And if you're looking for things that are like silky dupes, again, the square neckline ruche for like the puffy sleeves. You can also search by condition. So if you specifically only want new with tags, you can toggle that as well. And I recommend that if you want to make darn sure that you get something that isn't overly worn. There's been so many times where I've ordered something and it said gently used, almost brand new, and it came and it had a stain or a rip, or it was pilled on the armpit. Sometimes their descriptors are hit and miss. Sometimes they miss things. I feel like sometimes they mislabel colors as well. I ordered something that looked burgundy and was described as burgundy, and it came and it was burnt orange. I've also had things that were described as 28-inch waist and it was no more than 24-inch waist. I always say if you know the brand already, look at the brand's size chart or draw on your previous experience with that specific brand and size accordingly. But if it's a brand that you're unfamiliar with, maybe err on the side of caution, maybe do some research first, because I feel like when it comes to their measurements, honestly, just disregard them. It's just a cautionary tale that you have to be careful when you shop on that app, because I'm pretty sure they probably have like underpaid employees trying to catalog, photograph, and list items, and they probably have a quota and they're probably rushing, so they don't have time to really take care. So keep that in mind too when you're shopping. Again, they're probably never gonna sponsor me after this, but like with most things, be skeptical, be very, very observant, contemplate before you purchase. That is all. But even though they're not sponsoring me, I'm still gonna put my referral link in the description because, hey, may as well. Even though I've had my qualms with them, I still use them because they are yet another resource when I'm trying to source specific items, especially for cosplays. It's great for that. It's just, you know, still gotta be careful. So the next website is actually my favorite website, and it is the most classic website you can choose. Probably the most risky too, and that is eBay. The reason why I like eBay is because yes, you get the pretentious resellers, but you also get the other end of the spectrum where people are just trying to sell crap and get rid of crap, and you will find the most amazing treasures for dirt cheap, if you know how to look for it. But let me just say that sometimes people don't know what they have, and you are there to benefit from it. How do you find the things that you find? Honestly, there's a lot of luck involved when it comes to finding things on eBay. I do a lot of eBay browsing when I'm bored. I will just put in like vintage dress. Sometimes I'll put in vintage dress lot and see if anyone's just trying to get rid of stuff. Sometimes I'll put old dress, old-timey dress. I don't know, you just gotta play around with the search terms. Try to get in the mind of like a 55-year-old woman who's just trying to clean out her closet or clean out her mother's closet. It's kind of like acting. You kind of have to like get into character. Think like the person that might be selling the thing that you are after, especially when it comes to vintage. Obviously, if you're gonna use like the most common search terms, like let's say you're looking for a Victorian handbelt, you're gonna get the resellers that are trying to get like $500 for it. But you could also think like someone who doesn't know what this is and it's just like metal hand doodad. I don't know. Don't search doodad. That is not helpful. I'm sorry. Another website that I have heard is pretty helpful, but I haven't had any luck with it, is Fat Fingers. Fat Fingers is a website dedicated to finding listings on eBay where people misspell things. So what it is you put in the search, what you are looking for, and you can either search the UK site, actually you can search any of the international eBay sites, and it will propose different misspellings of that word or name and show you the listings under those misspellings, which is great because sometimes people don't know how to spell, and because they don't know how to spell the thing, they probably didn't do much research. I can talk. They probably didn't do much research on it, so they're probably just selling it for a pretty low price. Also, when it comes to just finding decent prices, maybe not necessarily low prices, but just like reasonable, eBay's pretty good for that. They also, like the other apps, have ways to send offers to people. If you see something you don't want to pay the exact price, maybe the shipping is like an arm and a leg and you're like, oh, we can do better on the base price. You can send people an offer. Also, again, if you like an item, sellers can send you a proposed discount that you can then either accept or counter. So again, there's that haggling option. Also, of course, the classic eBay function is the bidding option. So if you want to get into a bidding war with some random woman in Wisconsin, you can. And much like Mercari, which actually eBay did it first, you can buy anything on eBay. So if you're looking for not just clothes, but also home decor, if you're looking for vintage Pez dispensers, they got that. Some of my coolest finds have actually been from eBay. And it wasn't from the little girly pops on Depop who had a curated shop. It was some rando who probably got it from a storage unit auction and just slapped it up on eBay with poor lighting and a very short description, no measurements, and I took the leap of faith and it ended up being my favorite thing ever. So I say if you are willing to hunt, but maybe you just don't want to leave your house that day, but you want the thrill of the thrift, the thrill of the dig, eBay, baby. And the great thing is, you are not restricted to your home country. You can shop internationally. Shipping rates will vary. Okay, so this one is not my fave either, but it's a resource. It is a place. It's something that you can add to your tool belt, and that is Etsy. When it comes to buying secondhand, Etsy is probably on the lowest rung of my list because I feel like when it comes to the curated vintage experience, they are the most pricey. People who sell on Etsy usually know what they have. Even more so, I feel like they know what they have and then they add extra amounts of monies on top of that. And you know me, I like a deal. So I bought like 1 or 2 pieces from Etsy, but it's not like my primary place, and that's not like the first place I check. It's like the last place I check, honestly, because again, I feel like things are gonna be higher on the price list. I do, however, like Etsy for handmade goods and small businesses. I do try to shop on people's websites where I can because Etsy has stinking high fees, man. And that's probably why a lot of the vintage resellers charge so freaking much. I actually tried to be an Etsy seller at one point and have my own vintage store, and it did not last that long. I mean, it did last long, but that's because I wasn't selling anything. I kept things up for months and didn't sell anything, and I did all the research on the keywords, and it's just very saturated. The fees are really high. I didn't like it for selling. It's okay for buying. I mostly just buy Animal Crossing merch, unofficial. And then of course, when it comes to buying online, there is also Facebook Marketplace, which is more useful, I feel like, for local buying, especially for furniture and home decor. I've never bought any clothes from Facebook Marketplace, and they do have the option to ship things. So if you wanted to buy something that's not from your area, you can add that, like in your search parameters, you can set it to shipping. So if you are looking for vintage pieces, I have seen quite a bit on Facebook Marketplace, so it's definitely worth checking out. Since I don't have a lot of experience with buying clothes on there, I can't really say if the prices are good. I've only ever bought local furniture, like in the free and the low price section and all that stuff. So that's about all my experience. However, when it comes to Facebook, they also have buy sell swap groups for specific brands. So if you're like a stan of a brand like Selkie or Sondafleur or Gunny Sacks, they have specific Facebook groups that you can join where people list things for sale or they put their in search of lists. So if there's specific brands that you're looking for that have a huge following, I would recommend looking for Facebook groups. There are also Facebook groups for specific aesthetics where you can buy, sell, trade, like cottage core. There's even Ren Fair buy, sell, swap groups as well. So definitely check that out too if you're looking for specific pieces, if you're trying to expand upon a specific type of wardrobe category, definitely look into that. Now, I know a lot of people use Vinted. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to get past the registration process. For some reason, I get stuck at a certain point. I don't remember why. I think it was like log in with Facebook or log in with Google. And I think I also tried just using one of my random emails and I never got the email confirmation. They might have fixed it, so I might look into downloading Vinted. I know a lot of people have been telling me about it, so I'll look into that. So I can't really give you guys any like advice or give you a testimonial about that app. All I know is people swear by it and say they find good stuff there. That being said, if you have a favorite website or app that I have not talked about and you would like to share with the class and not gatekeep, go ahead and leave a comment down below so we can talk more thrifty, sustainable fashion together. Because honestly, there's enough clothes in the world right now. I know sometimes I still buy things new, but I'm trying not to as much. I'm also trying to thrift less. Even I know that sounds paradoxical because I'm like mostly a thrift channel. I'm trying to like get more into being crafty because I have enough clothes, honestly. You guys know this. You've seen my clean out videos. I'm a hoarder. I like shiny things, okay?
I gotta have my trinkets. I gotta like surround myself with all my trinkets and colorful and shiny things.
Also, if you have any specific tips for the websites and apps that I have already talked about, also leave that down in the comments because I did not write a script or an outline for this video, so I know I forgot something. I'm gonna be editing this later and I'm gonna be like, God dang it, I forgot this. So definitely help me fill in the gaps because I am forgetful. But that's why y'all are here to help me, because sometimes there are no thoughts between these eyes. And then sometimes there's too many. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope this video was helpful. I hope it was enjoyable for you. There will be much more to come. I don't know why I just did this. There will be much more content coming. I decided to do a talking head video today because I'm in the middle of a few crafts, and then I am, even though I said I'm gonna try not to thrift so much, I am going thrifting tomorrow. I'm taking someone thrifting tomorrow on a thrift tour. So I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not subscribed and you like my vibe, and that was an unintentional rhyme. And also like the video because the algorithm is sometimes a freaking beast and likes to beat me up. So get revenge on the algorithm by giving this video a like and also commenting, even if you don't have anything, even if you don't have a specific tip to contribute. Let me know your thoughts. What is the best thing you've ever thrifted online or bought secondhand online? I know I shouldn't call it thrift because it's not a thrift store, but whatever, man. Let me reclaim my thoughts here. Yeah, I think that was it. That's all. Okay. Bye. I love you. Bye.